Hey everyone, it's been a little while, and I just wanted to keep you updated as to what I'm doing. I'm going to be going back to school this summer, and it's a pretty big deal for me because I've quit my job of 16 years and gonna try and do this graphic design thing and this animation thing, and see if I can actually make a living out of it. But anyway, enough about my life. I just wanted to tell you that I've been working on my character and making a part two of the body turn tutorial and the character tutorial together. This is really rough. It doesn't look very good, but this is a side view of my character. Obviously, just his body, but it just has the arms and legs. And these aren't actually target bones here at the bottom. They're actually foot turns. Oops. So if I go in the timeline, I can pivot the foot. It's really rough artwork right now. But then I'm also going to have the body turn. So you can have a quarter view. You can see the shoes turn. And you can also turn them independently also. So that's going to be the same thing with the head and hopefully the hands and all that kind of stuff too. But it's taking a long time just to make sure I get it to look right. But I want to make sure that I cover both of those things, the body turn with the character tutorial. And also a lot of people have been asking me to make a female character, so I want to do that too. But the reason I'm doing this is so I can, I'll just make a walk cycle really quick and show you why I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do the scissor pose real quick. This isn't a tutorial for the walk cycle. I'll go through it real briefly. So you do one hand front, one hand back, and then do the opposite for the legs. Kind of I would just call it a scissors pose. Then you're gonna go to frame 12, and I'm turning on onion skins, and I'm clicking on the first keyframe. So when I'm on frame 12 and move my character, I can just change the positions of the arms and legs. So it's another scissor pose is what I would call it, like that. And then for frame 24, I'll just select the first keyframe and I'll do a Command C and then a Command V to paste. So you just get that back and forth, and that red in the background's just the onion skin being shown. And I'll go ahead and turn that off real quick, and then I'll go to frame 6, or actually just a little bit before 6, because I want the front leg to bend. So I'm going to hit Z, I'm going to bend it, and I'm going to grab that keyframe and move it right to 6, just so it's in the right place. And then I'll do the same thing for the other half. Go to frame 16, grab this leg, the back leg, and bend that also, and then I'll move it to 18 so they're evenly spaced. So now we've got the stepping forward motion. And I'm also going to do just a little bend. The front arm's going backwards first. So I'm just going to bend it a little bit, just like that, and drag that keyframe I made. The reason I'm doing it a little bit off of 6 is so I can see, grab the correct keyframe and just lay it there a little bit before 18. Do the same with the backhand and just bend it a little bit, put it on 18, and that way the arms kind of sway a little bit also. And then the last thing, I'm just going to go to let's go to the first frame. I'm going to click on my pivot bone just to make sure there's a keyframe there, and then I will go to frame 3. I will transpose. I'm going to move it down so the entire character dips down, and then frame 9, make them go back up. And I'm going to select those two keyframes that I made, Command C, and go to frame 15 and paste. So we have up and down here. And then I'm just going to go to the last frame and click on the pivot bone just to make sure there's a keyframe there. And so now we have a little walk cycle. So I will right click the last keyframe and go to cycle, and we want to cycle to frame 2, because the last frame and the first one are the same. So if we don't go to 2, it will look like it's pausing a little bit because there's going to be 2 of the exact same frames. So I'll just hit play. So you can see there's a really basic walk cycle. Looks like he's got a limp. I think it's because maybe these aren't linear. I'm not sure. Oops. Let's do cycle again to frame 2. No, he's still gimpy. Whatever. That's not even the reason I'm making the video. So, but I wanted to show you. So I'll have a walk cycle like this, and then because I'm going to have the character completely rigged with a body turn also, I can come in here and start turning the character to a 3/4 view like that, and he'll start walking kind of in that direction. It's going to be a little bit trickier to do for facing forward. I'm sure there's a way to do that, but I'm just trying right now to get the character to be able to be facing forward like this, and you can animate or turn the body to a side position and do that, and even going to the side like that. So that's what I've been working on, so that's why I haven't made a lot of videos lately. But I'm going to just really quickly do a viewer request or a subscriber request, and that is to make hands in Anime Studio, cartoon hands. And I'm sorry, I couldn't find the comment. It's either on YouTube or Facebook, but I couldn't. It kind of got lost in the shuffle. So what I do for hands is basically just like any other referencing of any body part or character, whatever. Just go to Google and start referencing. I can start by drawing a shape, and this is how I usually start doing hands. Is I'll pick a skin tone, and let me change the outline color a little bit so it's darker. Or actually, let's just make it black, just so it's easier to see. So I always like to start with a square. For some reason it's just easier for me to start with the square, because the curve tool is a lot easier to handle after you draw straight lines. So I'll start with a square, and let's say we'll make a hand pose. So I'm just going to start off by making a thumb like that, really simple and basic, and then I'll make some fingers, really crappy looking fingers, and all square and whatnot, and then just reshaping it. I'll hit C to curve out some of the points, make sure this looks like a thumb-ish. Curve some points out, and make sure the palm is kind of the correct size. Put a little curve out there, and basically keep using the curve tool, which is C. If you hit C on your keyboard, and curve those out to where they look about right. This finger looks extra crazy, and just keep manipulating. Let's see, I think the amount of points that you use, I try and use the least amount of points as possible. It just makes it easier to animate. It becomes less confusing. So let's use 1 point for the tip of the finger, and then 2 for the joint, like that. And it'll save you a lot of time just to do like that, to keep the points small on any of your animation. That's really. And if you're just making poses and they're not going to be interpolated, go ahead and add more points. So say I want this to look a little bit more like this last finger is behind. I'm just going to add some points and curve like that. and maybe move this finger. That's the weird thing. Well, it's not weird, it's just normal that the overlapping of color will create an empty pocket, so just kind of be aware of that. And basically keep messing with it until it looks right. See, now that I'm looking at it, the thumb looks super big and crazy. So you can look at your own hand. You can just kind of draw out from your own imagination. What I like to do is, as with anything else, just go to Google and type in cartoon hands. And you'll find a whole bunch of pictures here. And I would suggest not to simply trace over an image, mainly because that's somebody else's work. Like, this is something that you would buy at vector stock. You can find actually free hand poses online also. And then there's lots of ones that people have just drawn just as practice. But let me download this one. Oops. Save image. Cartoon hands. To the desktop. And then import the image. So you have a reference. And instead of tracing, just kind of look at these hand poses and make your own. So I'm going to go back to this layer. I mean, you can trace if you want to, but it's just, I would give credit to the artist if you're going to do that, or, you know, make a variation. You can even use just actual hands. Let me do that instead. Hand poses and use actual pictures of somebody's hand. Save that image and then import that. And then kind of make it cartoony, or however, whatever style you want. Some people are very much into animation or want to animate, but they don't have the artistic skills, and I am not by any means a great artist. But like with anything, it just takes time. So practice. So I'm looking at this picture of that person's thumb or hand and kind of just making the general shape, using the curve tool again. But I want my hand to look cartoony, so I'm gonna do like that. And let's see. I think I'll go ahead and create just that part. Then I'm going to hit S, and that's just selecting the shape tool, and it's still on square, so then I'll just draw fingers. Curve. Oops. And add and delete points. See how that looks. This palm underneath, I'm going to move this over. See how the finger kind of comes down here and then the crease, but then it disappears. I'll go ahead and hide an edge. And keep moving the finger around until it looks right or close to how you think it should look. Hit S, add another finger. And just keep doing that. Hit Q, select that, hit the up arrow so it becomes, this pinky overlaps on the top like that. I'll select that, copy paste. If you're doing 5 fingers like an actual person, you can do another finger. This one I'll hit Q, select it, and hit the down arrow until I see it go behind or in the position I want, right there, like that. And then Draw another finger. Put that like that. I'm gonna hit Q and put that in the very back real quick so it doesn't look so crazy. Oops. That finger is in a weird position. If you look long enough at hands and feet, they just look weird automatically. That's just a given. Let me hide. And I personally think that the face is the most important part of a character. Like, even if the hand looks kind of weird, people aren't going to be focusing on it that much. So you can always make a hand or whatever, and then fix it later. If it doesn't look great, you can always go back. I mean, I think that's probably the key. And that's it's not super awesome, but it resembles a hand, you know. So I would just reference body parts. And the other thing is, now if you really don't want to have trouble drawing hands and feet, there is an excellent site, and it's called Cartoon Solutions. Oops. Cartoonsolutions.com. I believe they're based in the UK, and this is an amazing resource. They actually support Anime Studio. I believe that they create things in Illustrator and then export them to Anime Studio, but they have a huge, there's hand pose packs, so you can actually buy these and just they're in switch layers, so you can actually just buy them, put them on your character, and they're ready to go. You actually can just use switch layers like I do with mouths and hands. They have a huge amount of Anime Studio backgrounds, or they're in Photoshop also, and they're in layers, so you can actually take them apart. Pretty cheap, $13 for a background, which is really good. I love their art style. It's very close to mine, but they have, you know, cars, and again, they're in layers, so you actually can put your characters right into this car. So I highly recommend, if you're just starting out with animation and you really want to get started, but you have problems with drawing, they also, of course, sell characters. And let's see, character builder. So you can buy parts, you can buy heads, you can buy bodies. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Anime Studio has partnered up with them, so they even have a character in here. Import character. Partners, Cartoon Solutions. So they actually even have a character in here, Rachel. And we'll just import her. She has a side view, a back view, and a side view, and a front view. Sorry. Just a little tired still. So let's import her front view. And so we have this character so you can actually see how well this character works. If you go into the timeline, this is the old school way of putting a character together. And she's already rigged, ready to rock. And I believe, let's see what she has in here. So yeah, they even have hand poses. So you can see some of those and how they work. And about 5 poses, I think, yeah. And you can see here different hands, and I think, let's look at the head. Oh, they even have her blinking, so you can actually, or her eyes half closed or closed. They have a full mouth set, which is about 8 mouths already in there. So there's complete characters. I think that some people don't know, especially when they buy Pro, that there's a huge amount of resources that are already in the program that you can play with and alter. If you want to, you can go in and mess with the character itself to create something different or whatnot. But there's tons. Let's see. Of characters that you can play with. Import characters. I mean, look at how many they have. It's pretty amazing. Victor's got the bomb. You guys have seen some of these already. But look at that. That is dope. This is Victor, one of Victor's characters. Little astronaut dude. It's amazing. Anyway, so this isn't really a tutorial. It was kind of just a suggestion for people who want to use or make their own hands for Anime Studio or own artwork. I'm just suggesting that you go out there, Google stuff, and use references and practice. That's pretty much the best way to get better at making your own stuff. If you do use somebody else's, like I said, just give them credit. And there's tons of resources. Cartoon Solutions will definitely kickstart you in getting some backgrounds and other things ready to go. And that's it. Other places, DeviantArt, of course, is another place where you can find a lot of artists that will post things. Let's do cartoon hands, and you can see there's lots of work on here. Just tons of facial expressions. If you type in model sheets, this is where I found Phil Barrasa's Batman picture. But just a lot of artists sharing their ideas and artwork. Whoa, risque. But there's tons of stuff on here to check out like that. This is awesome. Oh, where'd it go? Facial expressions. Just studying this, is a wonderful way to get better with your own facial expressions. Matter of fact, I am going to save this image so I can look at it later on. But anyway, that's what I've been up to. I will keep you guys posted. I'll make a much better... I'll be making more tutorials here soon. I just have to get ready for school and figure out life things, insurance and mortgage and that kind of stuff. So I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks.